Yeah, Mwachi, I think I should comment now that you have invited me to comment.
Yes.
Please. Yeah. Any strategy really can be justified. There are people who would have said, let's start with the elderly, let's start with those who are sick, let's start with the healthcare workers. And it all boils down to our problem. The problem is that we do not have enough doses. And as you know, when the doses are not adequate, there are different formulas that come in place to distribute the resources that are available. And so whatever we chose, I think, has probably the strongest justification in the sense that, one, you choose the categories of people that are at highest risk of infection. And by countering that, you try and limit the spread of the infection and, of course, protect those in those groups at high risk of infection would have gotten sick. And then after that, you move into the second group, which is people at highest risk of severe disease and death. And in this case, we seem to have combined those at high risk of infection and those at high risk of severe disease, which is good. And in fact, if we had more doses, there's no reason we should be discriminating against them. It would be for everybody. And I'm hoping in a few months, we'll be able to see more doses and probably open this up further. But yes, I do not have a problem with the approach. In fact, the only other category that Mwachi says we should include, and I agree with him, is that people with things like diabetes and other underlying conditions at whatever age should be able and should be encouraged to come in and get the vaccine.
True. Now, I also have some friends who got, of course, sick, who contracted the infection and got well. But one of them told me when they went for the vaccine, they were told they can get after 6 months. How do the two relate? Because this person...
Well, yeah, right now there's no hard science. There's no hard science fact that draws a line for people who have received the vaccine to wait for 6 months. In fact, for me, my recommendation is that so long as you have no symptoms, you are out of the acute illness phase. You don't have any fever, you don't have any pain, you're okay. If you recovered 2 weeks ago, a month ago, you should be able to get the vaccine. That is the science. We should not discourage them from getting the vaccine because we've seen that the vaccine elicits or the vaccine makes the body produce better immune response than most people who get infected. Now, secondly, there have been countries that have been proposing that those who have gotten sick should wait for about 3 months so as to give other people a chance to get some protection. This is based on the fact that many people who get sick show some level of protection for a few months after infection, but we know it is not everybody. And we know for sure this protection doesn't last for long. So for me, I would say, so long as even if you had COVID, so long as you're not currently sick, so long as you've recovered and you're showing no symptoms and you qualify to get the vaccine, you should get it.
Okay, it's good that you can revisit the subject maybe with another hospital or another MD. Okay, now let's go back to maybe those who are still contracting. Remember, every day we still have new cases. And some people don't even sure how to protect themselves. When you see people know, yes, I can do this to protect myself from contracting. But the aspect of now you are infected, you have the infection. How will they continue to prevent the measures to take to prevent their family members from the same, don't spread it further?
Mwachi, you want to take that?
I'll try. Now, you know, Lisa,
yes.
The vaccine protects you from getting severe disease.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that you can't spread it. It doesn't mean that you can't get it. What it means is that when you get it, it will be a milder form and you're unlikely to need an ICU bed or those severe diseases. But you can still contract COVID. Yeah. But then you won't be as severe as to need critical care. Until we get to a point where a critical threshold has been vaccinated, then you still need to maintain the other measures, social. It's called physical distancing and wearing a mask and all that, because you can still transmit it, you can still get it. Only that you won't be, you won't get the severe symptoms. So even after getting it, I don't think we are that percentage where you can be comfortable and say Now, okay, you will be safe yourself, but then you will be putting other people at risk.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a very selfish vaccine.
Yes. Maybe just to add that actually about less than a quarter of the people who get the vaccine may actually not have sufficient defense to wave off the infection. So they may still be able to get sick, although we know after two doses, you are not likely to get severely sick or die. But I would like to liken the vaccine to martial arts. Mwachi looks like he has learned karate and taekwondo. That does not mean he cannot be attacked by thugs. So I liken the attacks by thugs to COVID-19. So COVID can still attack him. But the fact that he has self-defense, is able to protect himself better and may not get injured or as severely injured as I would with zero skills. So vaccine is to help you protect in case you're exposed. It doesn't mean that you will not be exposed.
Okay, thanks so much. Now, to top up on that, let's say now you are sick. Let's say Liz is sick. She has a family, and she's in the house. Maybe even she has continued to work while still unwell. What are some of measures Liz should take so that she doesn't pass this to more people? Like, I'm sick now, isolation, what, such things.
Well, you can, first of all, the idea is to isolate. What isolation means is that if you are at home-based care, you, in the best case scenario, stay in your own room, use your own utensils, so you're isolated from everybody else, wear a mask throughout, keep a sanitizer and of course soap and hand washing and water for clothes, and basically keep your own utensils. You shouldn't share those because saliva has the virus, can transmit to others. And the idea really is to isolate yourself from those you are living with as much as possible. You should also have a caretaker who can keep checking on you so that in case you're getting worse, they take care of you, so that they should have, say, a plan on how to get you to hospital as soon as possible in case that is needed, and also just to check on you. The other thing that people need to know is that when you are under isolation, it doesn't mean you sit in bed for 24 hours. We know that sitting in bed can increase your risk for getting clots, so you need to be able to move around, even if it's in the house or if you have a compound or if you have somewhere safe within the house where you can move around and keep active, so that you do not get other problems while under isolation. But really the idea is to protect others by the same measures that we kept singing about. You keep yourself masked, you keep your hands clean, and whatever you touch should be cleaned frequently. If there are surfaces that are shared, keep your own space and items so that you don't expose those you are living with.
Okay. Sure, thank you. Do you want to add something?
No, I think Moses said it all. There's an acronym going around, and people should find it. Avoid men and do, I don't know if you've seen it.
Except me.
Except women. Avoid men touching your mouth, eyes, nose. Then accept women. I don't know. Women, wash your hands, social distancing, and all that. It's a very useful acronym. Better than, that summarizes what the importance of wearing a mask is, and I think that should go viral.
Okay. Maybe I would ask you if you have anything else to add, and also to continue convincing the public on the uptake of the vaccine. The floor is open. You can now share any of that, please.
I'll go first. Liz, take the vaccine and given an opportunity. And I'm telling all my friends to take the vaccine, all their parents to take the vaccine. All these people, all these rumors people are spreading around are unfounded. As medics, Moses Masika had this conversation with Spice FM. That was in December. I don't know if you can remember, Moses, and you were doubtful. I was listening to you on my way to Kilifi, and you're doubting that it was in March last year, you're doubting that you could get a vaccine within 1 year. These are blessings,
Yes.
guys. We now have it
Yes.
here. Do you remember that interview?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, now we have it here. Like
Yes.
all resources have been put into this vaccine. Now we can't get naysayers telling us now, all of a sudden, don't take it. So we Catholic doctors, come on, those are anti-vaxxers. Take the vaccine. Take the vaccine. It will save your life. It will save your life. That is what I just heard.
Yes, I think the global solidarity that we've seen around developing COVID vaccines is quite unprecedented. That we've had, you've seen companies that from countries that do not generally work together now working together to get the vaccine. Technology has actually changed. In the last 10 years, we've had so much advancement that it's possible now to do what has been done within such a short time that we thought could not be done. And when you're building a house with 3 masons, they take 3 years. But if you get 30 masons, you could do that in a year or less. I know you've asked us to give our last comment. My last comment is that the vaccine is safe. It works. If you get a chance, please take it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. At least now everybody has heard from the specialists, from the medics. Now it's upon you to look for the vaccine. You've been asked not to jump the queue, but look for it wherever it is. Apparently, I've been traveling out of Nairobi to go and get it from somewhere else. Yeah, otherwise, thanks so much for showing up. Thanks for your time. We really appreciate. Thanks for the insightful message you've given out there. Till next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Liz.
Thanks.
Your show will grow.
Thanks for having us.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Asante sana.